Vice President Joe Biden has told CNBC that if his election is confirmed, he'll likely wait until early December to name his economic team, the same model used by former President Obama back in 2008. Jared Bernstein is the former chief economist of Vice President Biden and senior fellow at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. He joins us now. Have you had any conversations, Jared, with former Vice President Joe Biden about whether he gets in the White House? You would continue to be his chief economist as you were when he was vice president?
Oh, no, all the focus has been on winning and trying to explain his case to the American people, both in terms of economic growth and virus control, and the importance of replacing a kind of very chaotic approach to the economy versus a much more systemic one, targeting inequalities, inclusivity, and just leaving too many folks behind.
Well, let's talk about that. I wonder what message or mandate you got from the election results. I mean, even if Joe Biden does end up winning, it wasn't a resounding win. It's awfully close. The Democrats lost House seats, and it looks like they aren't going to capture the Senate. So what does that tell you about what Americans want?
Well, this is going to sound like I'm dodging the question, and perhaps I am, but it's really that I just don't have kind of the political skill set to give you the deep answer, or even the knowledge yet, to deep answer that your question requires. It's a very good question. But I think there's going to be about barrels of digital ink spilled trying to answer that question. I don't want to try to get ahead of it. What I want to try to do is think of the economic policy, and that I think I do have hopefully some value added, that would get this economy back to full employment most quickly. Because even with a stronger than expected jobs report, we still have a 10 million jobs gap. The pace of gains has decelerated. The unemployment rate is twice what it was pre-crisis. So there's just a ton of work to do on the economic front. Trade relations, again, the racial equity and the inequality agenda, a tax system that works much better for middle-class Americans. So there's just a lot of work to be done.
Hey, Jared, to your point earlier about there's a lot we can't really string out here. There's so much to be known. But Politico did have a piece last night about the relationship between the former vice president and Mitch McConnell. They worked together for years as Senate colleagues. McConnell was the only GOP senator to attend the funeral of Beau Biden in 2015. Do you think the market is underestimating the degree of potential cooperation?
I think that's a real possibility. Again, I think there are I know there are Republicans who believe that there's work to be done in many of the areas I've mentioned. Obviously, there's a tax policy argument that's going to be more complicated than, say, an infrastructure argument or even a stimulus argument. I mean, you heard McConnell himself earlier in the week talk about the need for more relief. I've been up to the Hill often in the past few years, and I have had Republicans pull me aside and say, I really want to do an infrastructure package, but we're getting no leadership from our president. If Biden becomes the next president, they will get a lot of leadership on infrastructure from him.
Yeah, but Jared, it's David. I can remember a Senate led by Mitch McConnell when Obama and Biden were the president and vice president, and they wanted to try to get things done, and they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, I remember that, too.
Yeah, I bet you do. So I don't understand what exactly may be different here if Mitch McConnell continues to be in control of the majority of the senators in the Senate. And you have a Biden presidency. It's not like he wasn't trying to get him. Biden wasn't trying to get him to get to his side last time when the Obama administration wanted to get stuff done.
You raise a very obvious and important point, and I don't think anyone envisions, kumbaya breaking out everywhere, anytime within the next 5 to 15 minutes. So let's be realistic. At the same time, politics can surprise you. And again, to the extent that I have any value to add here, it's on the economic front, and there is considerable concern about the way this economy is lagging behind for people on the bottom leg of this K-shaped recovery. I mean, we really do have a phenomenon where, with some very notable exceptions in recent days, a stock market that's been moving up, at the same time evictions and hunger and unemployment and wage issues for folks in the bottom leg of that K have been falling behind. And you can really see this very clearly if you look at the data for certain groups. I mean, the black unemployment rate came down significantly, but it's still almost 11%. I mean, that's recessionary. So there's just so much economic work left to do. And to the extent that there are Republican partners who are willing to get to work on it, we'll have to see. But I can guarantee you that a Biden presidency would certainly push for those kinds of changes.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.